This is the worst thing to ever happen to me. Worse than when Jeannie pushed me off the monkey bars in 5th grade, and everyone laughed when I broke my arm. Worse than when Jeannie put pencil shavings in my lunch in 9th grade, and my teeth were streaked black all day. I bet now she's laughing at me to everyone at school and saying I'm dirty and poisonous and poor. I hate her so much. Apparently, it's not being dirty that attracts them, that actually keeps them off. It's being clean, less debris, more room for them to crawl on you than in you. I must have gone too deep into the town woods on my last walk. Maybe passed by an animal they already picked clean and didn't see it. Whatever happened, however it went down, I got skin mites. Everyone in town knows about them, but when I brought them up on vacations and stuff, nobody in the hotel knew what I was talking about. Once, my parents saw me talking to an old lady about them. I was 8. They grabbed my wrist really hard and pulled me away from the old lady, Mom telling her that I had an active imagination. I don't know why nobody but us knows about them. I don't know much about them myself. I do know they're not actually mites, but small beetles. The name is kind of false, I guess. Also, it's not so much the skin they're attracted to, it's the blood vessels. That's where they make their little homes with their little eggs. It's just that they burrow through the skin and leave little holes. From these holes, they jump out and start burrowing into the skins of those closest to you. They're very contagious. About a decade ago, they spread through half the town before anything could be done. Only a couple people died, and we've gotten better treatment since then. Figured out some ways to keep them off, too. But if you're not careful, they dig right in, and I wasn't careful. I had had a rough day at school. Jeannie had put dirt in my locker. I knew it was her. She also called me names with her friends as I passed by her during 5th period. They whispered insults in my ear as I walked by, and when I turned, they wouldn't look at me. They just laughed to each other. I was so frustrated after that. And the B on my English paper, I swear, who cares about Hamlet anyway? But I went for one of my walks in the woods. The woods by my house are so calming, lots of old wood trees with moss patches on the side. I took the spray that keeps them off. I guess it just wasn't enough. I went deeper than ever before. I was just hoping to see some deer or something, a cute animal that wasn't bothered by bullies or grades. I got kind of lost. There aren't so many cool things in the woods, and there were these weird mushrooms I'd never seen before. The sun started to set, and I looked around and realized I lost my trail back home. I wandered all night and came home to a small search party, scattered into the woods around my house. My mom was crying. Then she saw me and cried some more. They checked my skin and my clothes, but didn't find any mites. The next morning, I woke up with little holes up my arms and legs and neck, and they itched like crazy. My mom lost it. She called the local hospital, and an ambulance came and took me away in hazmat suits. It took 6 months of treatment to kill off the bugs, and I still have some scars that will last the rest of my life, but I recovered. Not everyone does, but my case was caught quick. I was back in school in time for the last couple weeks. Even though it was almost summer, I wore long sweaters to cover my arms. No one needed to see the little pockmarks up my forearms. Everyone was very kind to me, holding doors and sitting with me at lunch. They told me that apparently while I was gone, the school had to call in a special exterminator. They asked about the dirt in my locker and why I put it there. I told them I didn't. Jeannie had shoveled it in while I was in class. My table mates got very quiet. I asked what happened. They told me Jeannie had died while I was in the hospital. Skin mites, they said. I had moved to a new city, new job, no friends. Everything was new, and when everything is new, you have to start from square one. I'm talking public transit, cheap off-brand groceries, and terrible, dirty apartment buildings. I moved into a building that would better be described as a tenement. It was never cleaned, never repaired. The paint started peeling in my unit the second I moved in. I just needed a place to live for now, I told myself. I just needed to get started. I came home one night and what looked like a roach crawled across my kitchen floor. It was fast like a roach, but I couldn't get a good look. I freaked and bought as much bug poison as I could afford the next day. I put out all kinds of traps, baits, and repellents, and didn't see another one for a while. Then, as I was eating dinner, Another one ran across my kitchen floor. I got a better look at it and realized maybe it wasn't a roach. It was fat and had short antennae. Its mouth parts were distended pretty far. Its eyes were on the ends of a second, even shorter pair of antennae. I was disgusted and couldn't even finish eating. I bleached every floor I could, put down more deterrent, and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up with huge welts up my arm. I called out of work and saw a doctor. He said something must have bit me in the night. I thought of the weird bugs I had seen in my kitchen and panicked. I called my super to ask for pest control to come in, and he said he would set it up, but they never came. I started sleeping with the lights on, hoping that they thought like roaches and would avoid the light. It seemed to work at first, that and putting down spray every night before bed. Then I woke up one night with a burning pain on my arms and up my back. They were in my bed, on my body. Their mouth parts were digging into me and pulling off pieces of flesh. I popped up and into the shower, screaming, and blasted myself with scalding hot water until one by one they fell off and went down the drain, my blood following them. I called the super repeatedly until he picked up and told him what happened. He, of course, denied it until I went to his door and banged on it until it opened. I was shirtless, and when he came out, I gave him a full 360 look at my chewed-up body. He called 911. I said I didn't need an ambulance, I needed him to do his job. Then he told me a little worm was peeking out of one of the holes in my back. The ambulance came and rushed me to the hospital. Overall, they pulled 3 larvae out of my body and disinfected my wounds. The landlord refunded my security and rent in exchange for keeping quiet. I took the money. I moved to another building soon after that. Work was going well, and I was able to leave the house more. The sudden influx of back rent made it possible to move to a nicer building. I still put down insecticide every night. Can't be too careful. There are spiders all over the place in my house, and they're big. I don't know. I see them. I don't know. They're huge, like cars sometimes. I tried calling my mom about it, and she never picked up. I've been trying to kill them. I cut them up and I smashed the smaller ones. They keep coming back. I can't seem to keep them out. The spiders climb up the walls and on the ceiling, and they laugh at me. I don't think spiders can laugh. My sister tried to call me yesterday. I couldn't pick up. The spiders like to take my phone, play games, scroll Instagram. I throw my shoes at them, and they knock them back. The shoes smack me on the nose, and I get nosebleeds. The spiders laugh some more. I stab them with knives. I swear the ones I cut up and throw out the window, they show up the next day fine. I can't get rid of them. I call pest control, but the spiders won't let me have my phone. It's like they can read my mind. Today, my sister called again. I couldn't pick up because of the spiders. One as big as a car watches me sleep. In my bathroom, they go through my medicine cabinet. There's a bunch of pills on the floor. I can't read their names. The spiders once were nice to me. One night, they cooked me a steak dinner, medium rare, perfect, and asked me about work. One told me it had a crush on me. I thought that was sweet. Lately, they yell insults and slurs from my closet and the ceiling. Today, I asked the spiders to play my sister's voicemail. They felt generous and played it for me. She was worried about me, said maybe Mom's death really affected me, asked if I was taking my medication. The spiders said they didn't know I was on medication. The spiders said I didn't need it. The spiders called me a worthless dog. Then they made me cook them a steak dinner. I can't see out the windows. The spiders tape them closed, and they stand in front of them. They block all the light. Something smells bad in my apartment. The spiders say not to worry about it. Yesterday, when my sister called and the spiders wouldn't let me use my phone, I punched the wall. The spiders dressed my wound and left me alone to relax. Sometimes they are nice to me. I still hate them. I have so many huge spiders in my home. I wish there was something I could do. They make me cry sometimes. They're very mean to me, mostly, but when they're kind, they're so kind. I wish I could call my sister.